So in this session we are talking about digital imaging and photo editing. We are introducing you to raster graphics and vector graphics, what they are and their differences. What is raster graphics? Raster graphics are a composition of individual picture elements, or simply pixels. What are pixels? Pixels are square elements that contains specific color values. What do we mean by that? When we take a look at this image, we see squares that contain specific color values. Some of them are darker, some of them are lighter, and this image comes together to form a beautiful image. So pixels are just squares or square elements that contains individual or specific color values. Anytime our cameras, our phones takes pictures, it is recorded in pixels, and this is what comes together to form the beautiful image that we all see. Vector graphics, on the other hand, are composed of mathematical formulas and parts that define shapes, lines, and curves. So instead of pixels, vector graphics use points, lines, and curves to represent images. Let's take a look at an example here. This is the logo of Learners Club, and when we zoom in, we see no square element or pixels in this image here, but we see what lines, and this is a combination of mathematical formulas and parts that come together to define the shape and then the image that we see. Now the difference between the two is that vector graphics are resolution independent. That means that we can resize it up or resize it down, scale it up, scale it down, and does not pixelate or it does not lose its quality. And that is why vector graphics are suitable for logos, for scalable vector graphics, for icons, and for art that can be printed in any size. Raster graphics, on the other hand, is resolution dependent. That means that when we scale it up, we resize it to a bigger size, or we reduce the size, it is likely for it to reduce in quality. Raster graphics are mostly images, and they have a perfect representation of images taken by our phones and cameras, whereas vector graphics, on the other hand, represent our logos very nice, and art very nice. Raster graphics are for images that we see and print on our phones, with our phones on printers, and in using high-end cameras, while vector graphics are used for icons, for logos, for scalable vector graphics, for art that can be scaled infinitely.